welcome to our panel discussion, Transformative Manufacturing, AI-powered solutions for the future. If you don't have the chat or comment area opened up, please go ahead and do so now. Just look down below if you're on your phone, or to the right-hand side of your screen if you're viewing us on a desktop for an area to leave your comments. This is where we will be asking you questions and feedback. We want it to be a two-way street where it's truly interactive during the time we spend together during this session. Please feel free to share any ideas or questions that may pop up as we go through this session. In fact, let us know right now, where are you joining us from? And as you all are sharing that with us, I would like to formally introduce myself. My name is Monique, and I am your host for today's live event. It's my pleasure to guide you through our engaging panel discussion featuring distinguished speakers and an esteemed audience on transformative manufacturing, AI-powered solutions for the future. Today, we will explore how AI automations can revolutionize the manufacturing industry, driving efficiency, productivity, and innovation. From optimizing production workflows to streamlining supply chain management, and from enhancing customer support to implementing intelligent maintenance schedules, AI is reshaping the way we operate. Our expert panel will delve into these topics, providing insights and real-world examples of how AI-powered solutions can transform the manufacturing processes. We are excited to share this journey with you and look forward to a productive discussion and conversation. Now, before we proceed to our panel discussion, I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to Pronix, who I am representing today, and the services we provide. At Pronix, we specialize in delivering cutting-edge AI and digital solutions that empower businesses to achieve operational excellence. Our expertise spans across AI-driven automation, cloud solutions, and software development tailored to the unique needs of the manufacturing sector. We partner with leading technology providers such as Microsoft, SAP, Core.ai, Tricentis to offer comprehensive solutions that streamline production, enhance supply chain management, and drive innovation and quality control and compliance. Our goal is to help you transform your operations with AI-powered strategies that are scalable, secure, and future-ready. Our panel today comprises of industry experts who've been at the forefront of implementing AI technologies in manufacturing. They bring a wealth of knowledge and experience, and we are thrilled to have them share their insights and experiences with us. We hope that you walk away with valuable takeaways to enhance how you are currently using AI. Now, let's get started and explore transformative manufacturing through AI-powered solutions. We will now introduce our three distinguished speakers. Please welcome Ido, Sabri, and Kevin. Now, Ido will be joining us in a moment, or actually later, so he had something that he needed to take care of. So with that said, I'm going to bring up Sabri. So give me just a moment here as we get Sabri up on the stage. All right, Sabri, welcome.
Everyone, good afternoon. Hello, Monique. Thanks for including me in the conversation.
Yes, most definitely. Can you please let the audience know just a little bit about yourself, please?
Absolutely. I'm a Director of Digital Solutions and Gen AI from Regal Rexnord, a Midwestern company headquartered in Milwaukee. We are a premium manufacturer of motors and Industry 4.0 electronic parts. And your topic of how do we leverage Gen AI to modernize and propel the most traditional industry space is being the forefront of my job and my position. So it's been a thrilling few months into this role as a Gen AI leader, and I'm excited to see a lot more happenings coming around this way into the manufacturing world using Gen AI.
All right, thank you so much, Sabri, and welcome. Now I see that Ido has joined us, so I'm going to bring him up on stage. Ido, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm very well. Sorry, I was waiting on the wrong link. I apologize for that. I'm here in El Dorado, Arkansas, in one of our refineries. That's why I'm dressed this way, so you can see the real me, boots on ground. But thank you for allowing me to participate. I've been the Chief Information Data Officer for Delhi QS for the last 2 years. Delhi QS is a downstream company. We have refineries in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, and many terminals and other assets such as gas plants and others. Focusing on IT, OT, and everything in between. Very happy to be here and be part of it.
All right, thank you again. And then last but not the very least, we have Kevin. Kevin, welcome. Let us know a little bit about yourself, please.
Thank you, Monique. I appreciate everyone attending today. My name is Kevin Mullay. I'm the Director of Sales Engineering here at Core AI. I've been in pre-sales for about 20 years, helping clients look at different areas of focus, but specifically I've been in the CX space for about 10 years. It's been fascinating to see what the CX space looked like 10 years ago compared to where we are now. We talk about generative AI and artificial intelligence and conversational AI. It's been fascinating. A little bit about Core. Core has been providing AI solutions for over a decade, so not new to the AI space at all. We provide enterprise-grade conversational and generative AI solutions for both employee and customer experience. So I appreciate you letting me participate today, and I'm looking forward to the conversation.
All right, so as you all can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have quite a panel today. So let's just get started. Ido, we're gonna kick it off with you first. The first question that we have here is, what are the key benefits of using AI automation to optimize production workflows, and how does it help reduce inefficiencies?
Right. So first and foremost, the strategy of the company does not change. We're not going to become an AI company, right? We're still going to be downstream. We're still going to be refining our organization. I think the biggest advantage that we can find is to just optimize ourselves. And with that, I mean taking the same type of processes and definitely try to automate as much as possible and keep kind of the section that is only kind of human-based by himself is going to be something that's going to be crucial. As a few examples, right? Visual inspection is a very big thing to maintain our assets. I'm currently in El Dorado. That's a 105-year-old asset, right? This refinery was built way before my parents were born, and even their parents. So I'm just saying, to try and to visual inspect and to see every anomaly that might be happening in the site on a human base, it's going to be very hard. So we're flying drones every day, the same mission over and over again. And the AI-based anomaly detection model that we have, it really allows us to see any differentiation that we have from one flight to another. That's a very kind of a good way of still maintaining the same asset, not changing the core function of why we are here, but also utilizing the current capabilities to make it just better.
Thank you so much, Ido, for answering that question. Sabri, I will actually address the same question to you. What are the key benefits of using AI automation to optimize production workflows, and how does it help reduce inefficiencies? And before you answer that, that's really amazing, Ido. I just wanted to add how you're working in a place where, like you said, it's before even your parents were born. So it's very important to integrate, what's happening today's world in addition to what's already been established. So thank you so much for answering that question. But Sabri, off to you.
Thank you, Monique. And the answer couldn't be more perfect than what Ido mentioned. So very fantastically put together. Adding to that is, he said the strategy, we are not going to change the strategy, right? So every company has business to run. So all of a sudden, they're not going to drop everything and become an AI first company and put all the monies into AI. AI should be in basically us as business, which means feed to the top line or the bottom line. And for a manufacturing company, production is the heart of the business. So without the production, it's going to be, there is no business for a manufacturing company. So optimizing this production requires data. So be it a refinery, be it a manufacturing plant, be it any other places of production, it requires data-driven execution. So in our case, there is a lot of plans, and on a daily basis, there is targets to achieve, and the scheduling needs to happen across the plants. So the scheduling, if the scheduling is not coordinated properly, and when it comes into the assembly stage of this line, there is a lot more dropouts, confusion, delays, and swarming happens, which impacts our OEE, operational efficiency. So by just moving the needle of 1 to 2% of an OEE of the plant through a data-driven decision making, providing the capabilities through AI to say, this is the right approach of doing the scheduling for the given capacity in our plant today, that is going to do a big game changer for that plant. And the cumulative effect of implementing that across all the plant, that is going to be a big boost for our business. So that's one of the biggest ways AI can immediately apply to a production area. On top of it, again, going back to Ido's point, visual inspection. So similar problem, right? Manufacturing plans are old. So people use the plans, but they update the parts and they change the painting, or they upgrade, but because it's capital incentive to establish a brand new plant. So in that area, the Jake, who's been operating in that plant for 30 years, knows what has happened, what this noise means. But Jake is retiring and we have a new person, Bob, and Bob is just into the job for 6 months. He wouldn't know all the empirical knowledge that Jake had. So having these MRO task orders that Jake has processing it through a Gen AI, and ability to Bob to ask the question of, hey, I'm getting this noise in this unit, what is the possible thing? This is the 4 task orders that's been done in the MRO for the last 5 years. And ability to access that knowledge on just a quick search, chatting with the Gen AI, is a lifesaver for Bob, and not only for Bob, the entire plant, because it can achieve the target and they can get all their bonus. So it's going back to the basics, right? So where is the problem? What is the use case? What is it going to change it in our business bottom line or top line? And where the AI can come in. Wherever the data is there, wherever the decision making needs to happen from a corpus of documents, that is your use case. Yeah, back to you, Monique.
Thank you so much, Sabri. Especially in the world that we live in, the digital world, I really liked how you started off about mentioning the importance of utilizing data. I think a lot of people kind of view AI as just this really foreign thing, just something that they want to push back on. And a lot of times it's all about starting with the basics, like you said, or going back to the fundamentals. So thank you so much for breaking it down and actually providing a use case of how this can be directly applied, especially utilizing generative AI. Now, I see that quite a few questions are coming in, so thank you so much to the live audience that are here. Please keep them coming. We will dedicate time to address your questions as much as possible. Again, if you're on your phone, down below in that area is where you can ask your questions, or if you're on a desktop, over to the right-hand side of your screen is where you can leave comments and also questions. The next question that we have is for you, Kevin. In what ways can conversational AI improve real-time order tracking and customer support, leading to higher customer satisfaction?
Thank you. There are many ways that AI can enhance order tracking. We find the most important center around 3 main areas. So it's 24/7 availability, be able to offer quick and accurate issue resolution. And we just talked about that a moment ago, data, right? Data and insights. AI provides a real valuable tool to get you insights and root cause analysis. Around 24/7 availability, whether it be a partner, vendor, customer, or you as a person, we all want support anytime we need it. Having that 24/7 interaction without, hopefully, in many instances, having a human agent have to supplement that, it really, really allows you to get instant access to order updates, resolve issues. We find that when you have constant availability, it reduces customer frustration, and ultimately that's going to in turn increase your customer satisfaction. We also see many customers, when they use conversational AI to not only about order tracking, we know that there's issues going to come up, right? There's going to be delivery delays. There's going to be wrong shipments, hopefully not many, right? And then conversational AI can use generative AI and conversational AI together to identify issues and hopefully resolve the issue. quickly issue resolving is really another way of affecting consumer satisfaction. But the point that we've talked about a couple times already is around data. When I have that data, I can do a lot with that. I can find out where our customers getting frustrated. What is the bottleneck in the order? Why was it missed? Why was it delivery? So that allows you really get root cause analysis. Many of our clients use it to enhance their processes, fine tune their products, or maybe adjust their customer support strategy. And again, using that with the goal of focusing on customer satisfaction.
Love that answer, Kevin. Thank you so much for addressing all that, and again, addressing data. I guess that's something that we're going to be talking about a lot today, so that's great. In fact, with this question, Sabri, is there anything that you would like to add based on what Kevin has shared with us thus far?
I can share my perspective, but Kevin is handling for multiple customers, and this use case is day in and day out, so he's definitely an expert there. So one couple things I want to say quickly in this area is, you already said, you can buy a fantastic Ferrari, but you cannot use water to run it. You need awesome fuel, you need data. So if Ferrari is your Gen AI or AI that you invested in, if you do not have the fuel for it, it's gonna starve. So data is going to be your fuel in all your ideas and visions that you want to do with AI. So when it comes to the order tracking and processing, there is order placement, order fulfillment, and order placement, order processing, order fulfillment, and delivery, last mile delivery, right? Logistic and last mile delivery. So over the entire course of this action, what does the customer want? That all customer wants is peace of mind. So they want to know, especially for B2B, especially for a company like us, when they're ordering the components, they're not ordering for, hey, I'm going to order because I just want to try it. Because they're ordering billion-dollar products because something is wrong or something they want to implement. So they would like to know this $100,000 or billion-dollar investments. When it can be productive, when it can make money for me. That is the question that they are asking for. And how I can make it visible, the more complex this logistics system comes and the more dispersed and the more demanding the customer is asking for on the time wise, like I want it by the morning or the evening or the afternoon. So coding a platform to do that is not possible. So that's where the AI model, combined with generative model, combined with conversational model, will be helping us to get that probabilistic information, what is the best route, and get the information provided to the Gen AI so it can present and summarize and synthesize the data, and hook it up with a conversational agent so it can make sure the customer is answered at whatever time it may be, at whatever place it may be. So that's the point I would like to add.
All right, thank you so much, Sabri. And in fact, this next question is directly to you. What advantages does centralizing communications with suppliers and vendors using AI-driven platforms in which they offer in reducing complexity and enhancing coordination?
I will open my statement with a question, right? So I know we don't have a poll, but I believe most people who are in the logistics, supply chain, procurement, sales will kind of resonate with this. How many times we have these invoice problems? How many times we have this order stalling and not reaching by the time? How many times we have this rejected invoices that we need to clarify, right? So there is, all these happens because we have dispersed data, not accumulated. And at the same time, everyone having their own logic, own pattern and doing it. I'm not saying we should standardize everything. We should use the AI to help us get the information in whichever standard it may be. So bringing all these data into a single place and allowing our procurement team or logistics team or sales team to have that conversation, like, where is my best, what is the supplier trend for the last month? and where is my best supplier, and what is his order product, what is the product that we are ordering from him, what is the percentage of allocation from the cost wise, and what is his projection next month looks like. So able to ask this question, get that insights, make the decisions faster, so they can all the functional teams can do their best decision to move the business forward. So if you're procurement, if you're logistics, if you're finance, if you're sales, all the problem for us now is lack of information that holds your decision making and that holds your business. If you want to move the business forward, if we start from the right, then you need to make faster decision. How do you make the faster decision? You make the insights available to you much faster. And the only way, at least at this point of time, I see is implementing Gen AI and AI together to give you this faster insights on any functional data. I'm not just going to restrict by supplier and vendor. It can be procurement, it can be logistics, it can be finance, any functional areas. Shortening that time to insight is going to be the business driver for you, and that's where Gen AI comes in.
Thank you so much for sharing. And yes, even though, as we've already talked about, the manufacturing industry is considered old or has like a long span of a lifetime, I really liked how you focused on the fact that we're always in this area of lack of information, and how can we go about expediting it, especially in an industry such as manufacturing that a lot of people feel might be too old or too slow to make things happen. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now, with the same question, Kevin, is there anything that you would like to chime in here?
Yeah, the only piece I want to add, and I agree with everything what Sabri said, the only piece I want to add is adding a layer of consistency, right? So whether I'm a agent on the phone talking to a vendor or a supplier, or whether I'm a virtual assistant helping that, or whether I'm an SMS virtual assistant, be able to use generative AI to provide consistency across any communication channel. The last thing you want is a process where you give a response that's not the same as if someone calls in and gets a different response. So be able to use generative AI, so no matter who's using that knowledge or where that knowledge is being used, it's always consistent, always accurate, and you know you're going to get the correct response back to the partner and vendors.
All right. No, thank you so much, Kevin, for putting that input there as well, in addition to what Sabri had to deliver and address to us. In fact, this next question, Sabri, is to you again as well. This question is, how does AI predict maintenance needs and schedule preventative maintenance? And what impact does this have on minimizing downtime and extending machinery lifespan? This is a good question.
Got it. I'm thinking Ido is more apt for this question, but I'll give my 2 cents. I already given a quick story about Jake and Bob, right? So the MRO, on how an old corpus of task orders lying in a file cabinet or in a Windows file manager, how we can use that to improve the productivity of the upcoming new blood maintenance MRO officers. The second thing is that any operational manager or the plant manager is looking to reduce the downtime of the machinery. So machinery downtime directly equals to your targets miss and the top line. So the information that you collect, all of us are aware of Industry 4.0, which is nothing but the connected data you are driving through the IoT, IT and OT devices that's put on the manufacturing plants, which are old. So if you want to make sure it's running in the right way, so you are having all these equipments that's starting to emit data. If it is old equipment, you're offsetting with an IoT devices. If a new equipment, it comes inbuilt with the IoT devices. So everything is starting to spew data. Okay, that's great. Now you have data in the hand, and what do you do with the data? You take and you work with your data scientists, data engineers, create an ML model to say, okay, this is the prediction of, this is how the information is going. That is also fine. But at this point of time, if you're newly creating these models, for a model to know this is an anomaly, it should have a data for a long time. If you're just starting for 6 months or even 3 months, it may not be enough for the model to say it's correct or not. So that's where you need to invest in the vendors to see who has already done it, seen it, has the model out of the box. So you are able to apply your data and see what is the anomaly. There is some tweaking and fine tuning you need to achieve. So that's one thing. Now you have your ML model. The problem will be, how do I know, when do I know that anomaly is detected, issue is happening? And when it happens, how do I quickly know what is the problem and resolution? That's where the Gen AI comes in. You apply this data plus your installation document plus your maintenance manual to the Gen AI model. It's gonna trigger you a notification saying, hey, there is some problem, anomaly I'm detecting. You can ask, where is the anomaly happening? This is where it's happening. What is the trend chart? This is what is happening. What is the last month's trend chart? This is what it's happening. Where is the problem statement? Most based on the installation or maintenance manual, this is the potential cause and fixes. Do we have anything in our old task order that we have done it? This is the 3 task order that we have done it. So now the entire issue resolution brings down to hours or even minutes for them to work on. If you bring that into a device, mobile device, that makes even the life of the operational engineers much easier to fix it. So that's my visionary thought process of how this entire connected data and corpus of informations can come together with Gen AI, conversational AI, conversational AI to produce value for our companies.
All right, thank you. I really like how you said your visionary breakdown, because these have been really great breakdowns that you've provided thus far, especially providing use cases. And I think this is a lot that the live audience can truly appreciate to see if it can be applicable to themselves. In fact, we're at the halfway mark officially of this program. We only have about three questions or so left. So for those of you who are attending us live, please do not hesitate to spark a conversation in the comments area or to ask any questions. If you're on your mobile device, it should be down below, seeing us on video. And then if you're watching this on your desktop, it should be on the right-hand side of your screen. There's an area for comments for you to ask your questions. We have quite a selection of questions coming in, so please feel free to continue to do so, and we will actually dedicate a time in this program to address them directly. So the next question is actually for both you, Kevin, and Sabri. And Kevin, I'll have you go first in answering this. But Kevin, can you discuss what role does AI play in providing real-time coaching and training for shop floor workers? And how does it improve their skills and productivity?
Yeah, it goes without saying, right? Your floor workers' time is valuable, and any minute that's taken away to find information is lost productivity. You know, Sabri used the example earlier, Jake, right? He's retiring after 35 years. I mean, that's common in the manufacturing industry. You have people that have been there for years, and that tribal knowledge that these employees has is highly valuable. How do I get that tribal knowledge, and how do I put it in the hands of newer employees to get them productive as quickly as possible? You know, if you think about standard operating procedures and manuals, the old school, they're very, very long PDFs. And the reason why Jake knows the answer, he's paged through it hundreds of times, knows exactly where to find it. But how did that next worker find that answer? So that's where generative AI comes into play. So now I can have this knowledge-based article, and it could be sourced from many different sources. It could be PDFs, or I could have connectors into my back-end knowledge-based articles. But the goal is these floor workers don't have a lot of time to search for information. So give them the ability to search on any device. So it could be on their own device, right? It could be on terminals, or it could be a handheld device on the floor. But use generative AI to look at all this knowledge and quickly bring back the most popular article or answer based on that particular question. So understand the intent, understand what they're asking, use the models to say, based on what you're asking, here's what I know. So it allows you to get your floor workers up to speed pretty quickly. The last thing you want to do is have them search for knowledge, but using generative AI cuts down that time. And when the Jakes do retire, you have that knowledge-based article. You don't have to be an expert in every document, every SOP. Now you're an expert of just how do I search that information and how do I get what I need in a matter of seconds.
Thank you so much for answering that, Kevin. Yes, I can only imagine the manuals like being textbook thick, and having as a new employee or someone who's just transferred to a specific division or department and having to go through that, it's like, oh my goodness, the overwhelm with that. And the fact that we have generative AI now to help catch us up and help it be more efficient and get us through it much quicker. With that said, Sabri, is there anything that you would like to add in this particular question?
I'm thinking through. So we covered most of the points. I don't want to be repetitive. One interesting area. I'm going to be again here a visionary a little bit, rather than this is an evolving piece, and this is something that I'm also trying to pursue. In the same case of tribal knowledge that is going to be lost with the aging employees. Not only the textual information and the work orders and in the Excel sheet or in the PDFs, there is something about their own information, right? So there is something in their own knowledge. So how do we collect that and store it for the later usage? So it's a reverse of what we are using as a generative AI, where we ask questions and it provides answer. So it is called heuristic model. So I'm trying to dabble with it. So it's more like the AI asks the question and these aging employees responds to that question. It's almost like logging or blogging. So it captures the knowledge of the people for the later usage. So once it is captured digitally, then yes, it's available for everyone to use. But making this heuristic model able to capture this tribal knowledge of the aging employees, almost like a video logging or a blogging, then using that digital knowledge to service any employees that's upcoming and creating and send SOP out of it. So that is an area that would definitely help a lot of manufacturing industry, especially where the employees are aging quite a bit.
I like that answer. Like you said, it was a visionary oriented answer. So thank you for sharing that. Ido, let's bring it back to you, my friend. How does AI monitor equipment health in real time? And what are the benefits of proactive alerts and notifications in preventing unexpected breakdowns?
Well, I think the second sentence is very clear, but the first one is how to get there. I'm trying to be as practical as possible with regards to everything that we do. We have launched a program called the Smart Refinery, and with that, it's not that we're trying to invent the world, but we definitely try to utilize technologies that are out there right now and trying to see whether it makes sense or not. So we have started with one unit here in El Dorado and try to find out ways of collecting information, working ourselves better, working on operational excellence with sensors that are wireless based, by the way, because we knew that by utilizing our canopies, our environment, in order to make a digital refinery, you have to have a good reception, good network. Without having the means to dig all over and having fiber cables spread around the area. So once again, we have started with this specific unit, and then we saw what things have changed for us. And by the way, some of them did not work as we expected, which is fine. I don't mind failing fast, as long as we know it's very much contained and we know exactly the impact. We saw the results after 2-3 months. The operator around percentage went up dramatically. The number of alerts that were true alerts and not false positives. We saw kind of the differentiation that it makes from this unit to the others. And then we chose kind of what to expand and what to further on deploy. And we expanded to 3 more units. And after 6 months, the whole refinery here was kind of based on a model that the first one did. So I think the main idea is not necessarily which technology to choose in order to really help preventing or do preventive maintenance. It's about what are you willing to try and be acceptable to the fact that it can fail and fail very fast in order for you to decide not to proceed with it. I think the main problem that I've seen in this industry, and this is kind of the 6th industry that I've been in, is the fact that once something is decided upon, you put $1 billion and now it's a program. I think in a practical way, you should put much less and try it first and see whether it works or not, and then decide to expand. I think that's the right way to do it, because then you immediately know what you should expand with and what's not. And after a year, we've completed our 4 refineries already. Pretty much besides one that we're doing a big turnaround now. All the rest are fully deployed, including the drones program and others. And that allows us really to control the pace and to be very realistic about expectations, because now every unit that we're continuing on the deployment, we know exactly what to expect based on the performance of the first one, instead of just rolling out in multiple sites and doing all together, so we don't have a clear benchmark of what would have happened without the adoption of those technologies. So I think that's kind of the core foundation, regardless of which technology you choose to implement it, to adopt.
Thank you so much, Ido. Yes, I really loved your stressing the importance of just going out there and trying it out versus just immediately trying to adopt things, having a specific test or trial on something, and then collecting the data from that to see what your next step should be moving forward, or specifically choosing a specific technology, as you stated, instead of just running with something. So thank you for sharing that. This last question, we're approaching our last question, and this is to you, Kevin. And the question is, how can AI facilitate seamless onboarding processes for new manufacturing employees, ensuring they are well equipped and quickly integrated into the organization?
Sure. I mean, let's face it, onboarding can be cumbersome, right? I mean, it's a process that we all have to go through, and back to that productivity, right? The quicker you can get this new employee out on the floor is integrated part of the business, is quicker you can realize their value there. Now, if you can do 2 main things around onboarding that really kind of cuts down the time to get that person out on the floor, but also make them the process a lot more easier and positive for them. The first thing is automate some administrative tasks, right? You know, a lot of times HR people are just manually doing this in the back end. There's no reason for that. AI fits into that very, very well. You know, now if I have AI integrated with your back end systems, I can have AI-driven decisions automatically assign onboarding tasks, or set up email accounts automatically, provision the new users, design training class, and finally grant access to the system. So, you know, the goal is to get these employees integrated into your environment day one. If anyone's been through an onboarding process, sometimes it takes a couple of days just to get upgraded in the system, and you spent 2 days just looking at manuals on the internet here to keep yourself busy, right? Why not do all that upfront learning, all those activities, those administrative tasks? Let AI do that. The other thing is, it's one thing to automate all these tasks, but I'm going to get questions from these employees as I go through the onboarding, so guided resolution. Another area for AI is to be able to provide virtual assistants to provide instant answers. Just like Jake on the floor is going to need answers, this new employee, it's no different using the same functionality around generative AI. It's just using for a different business use, and that's around a new employee. So they're going to have questions around, how do I use certain tools? What are the safety protocols? What are my company policies? It's that same knowledge base serving up that information. You know, this is going to reduce the reliance on HR professionals. You know, they're high-paid professionals, right? They shouldn't be asking questions of how I find my safety protocol. Let AI do that. That's what it's good for. That's a lot of these automation tasks that are really, really powerful. You know, the goal is to guide these employees step by step, create their training session, and make onboarding process a positive experience, as opposed to a mundane, very transactional experience.
I can add something to Kevin's answer there, because we're always focusing on the manufacturing piece and the assets, but in every company, of course, we're talking about the headquarters as well. So knowledge management and automation around the back office of finance and legal and HR and IT. And I think the most successful story that we have is actually our legal department that have embraced. Usually when you hear about legal departments and AI, you think about policies and what's not to do. In our case, they came out with, co-counsel, for example, just to review documents and to summarize the documents that they're having in policies, and looking for findings from previous legislations and getting out to instead of using external sources, external lawyers, they can do it very much a very fast way with generative AI capabilities of co-counsel, which allows them, once again, to do the same job, same process, not changing the strategy or their core mission, but just do it much more effectively. So, by the way, that's a very I think, more a convenient place to start in the back office, because then you're not really risking anything on the operation side. You know, if if you're changing something on your IT front, on your legal or HR or commercial, the operational impact of that will be much less significant than having the wrong, manufacturing piece change because of something that you have done. So it's a more convenient place to start.
Thank you so much, both to you, Kevin, and to you, Ido, for your portion of adding to what Kevin just shared with us. Now, for those of you all who are attending us live, please let us know in the comments if you're enjoying this program thus far. I don't know about you all, but I find it very interesting as we're hearing various breakdowns, various mini success stories, and just very applicable ways of utilizing various forms of AI within the manufacturing industry and the process, and just different ways of going about it, utilizing it, especially if you're someone who is kind of reluctant or just beginning in their journey. I mean, as Kevin mentioned, they've been in AI for many, many years. AI recently seems like it's just the most hot trending topic these days, but Kevin's letting us know that he's been in the trenches for quite some time. And with that said, we don't want to leave you all without providing a spotlight on success through hearing success stories. So I know we've already gotten a little bit from each of these speakers, but we want a dedicated time where we can provide success stories specifically from companies that have been thriving or thrived by implementing AI powered solutions in manufacturing and learn the best practices that led to their success. We acknowledge that hearing direct implementation can be extremely powerful, and you all may see yourselves doing the same for your company. So with that said, let's open it up to all three of our guest speakers. And so Ido, Sabri, and Kevin, could each of you share a story of transformation that stands out to you? Kevin, can you go first, please?
Sure. So when we talk to many of our customers, and you mentioned AI is scary to some people, right? Especially when you talk about, hallucinations and guardrails and privacy. That's very, very scary to a lot of people. We heard that loud and clear from our customers. A lot of our customers say, I just don't know where to start, right? There's no lack of guidance on there is a lack of guidance from best practices, and it takes a lot of time to build some of these processes. So they get stuck in this experimental phase because they struggle with, latency or technical token usage costs or privacy concerns or guardrails. In talking to our customers, they say it average takes about 18 to 24 weeks to build an AI process. So that could be looking up invoices and summarizing invoices. I think Ido mentioned, some of those legal stuff. Typically takes 18 to 24 weeks. So to counter that, Core created a product that really allows enterprises an enterprise grade way to test and experiment with best foundational models. So they could say, I want to test a commercial model versus a community model, or bring my own model in and see which one prepares and which one generates a response the best. We talk about guardrails and stuff. We allow them to put guardrails on, be able to test guardrails and see how this output is going to look if I use guardrail A versus guardrail B, or if I change the prompt to get them. So it gives you, in essence, a playground to test that data. And finally, it's able to string together different tasks where conversational AI is great, as it says, right? Conversation back and forth. But what happens when I need AI to make decisions? That's where I have to string back what we call AI agents together. By doing this, by giving the playground, giving the foundation, giving the tools and the testing, the success story there is we find our clients, they reduce the time to create these generative AI or conversational AI or just AI agents, if you will, by 50%. So that 18 to 24 weeks, they're seeing it cut down by half just by using some of the tools that we've designed to really make AI less scary for them.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Greatly appreciate that. Ido, you're next.
All right, practical use case. So I will go back to the refinery, and some of the background that I have is from financial industry and telco, but some of it goes way back to the Army years. And I think that the U.S. Army has been launching drones and the remote operations with BVLOS operation, beyond vision line of sight, many years ago from containers in Vegas throughout Afghanistan. So I was thinking to myself, why do we need an on-site pilot to fly the drones if we can do it remotely as a service? Of course, there were some FAA implications and regulations around it. So we have thought about what can we do in order to meet those expectations, and alongside, once again, still having the remote operation capabilities. And we got the FAA approval after investing in a startup called Percepto, which have their capabilities of software and hardware, and location and equipment capabilities with cameras here on site that really allowed the FAA to get the approval of BVLOS operations. And now we are able to fly more than 8 drones in 4 different refineries, so 2 in each. One OGI, optical gas imaging. The other one is the Sparrow, which is 24 megapixel with an IR capabilities, infrared capabilities. So we have a whole program, we call it AI in the Sky, that allows us to do visual inspection, as Sabri was mentioning, throughout our sites, leak detections and power distribution lines and security rounds to do it as a service. 75% of our missions are autonomous. That means we just define the coordinates and we just launch them and make sure that they're well landed afterwards. That allows us really to have a full utilization of both hardware, software, AI, and of course maintaining the assets that we're going to have many generations here to follow.
Thank you so much, Ido. Wow, 2 varying different use cases here, and I'm loving it thus far. So with that said, Sabri, please share yours.
We'll start. I have 2 to share. So we've started this journey very new, like 4 months back into the AI. And our focus area has been 2 places. One is customer facing and the other one is internal. So I think Ido mentioned it earlier. So figure out your placement of the AI. So that's what we did. Is it if in a one axis, is it custom Gen AI that we bought from outside, or proprietary AI tools or AI models that we generate inside? And then we saw what are the external facing use cases versus what are the internal facing use cases. So we had this quadrant where we started to map out, and 2 things that stood out. One is obviously the CX, customer experience. How do we improve the customer experiences through the generative AI? We partnered with Pronix and Core to bring in the first ever generative AI driven chatbot in our website that has garnered about 3,000 interaction and users in few months, which we would have never occurred if we have been able to do that. So by knowing these new customers, and I'm not sure one of the panelists, but someone talked about the personalization. So ability to bring that personalized information of the customers from the backend, and now it's not a non-interactive, or it's not a lively site that the customer needs to click through and find the information themselves. Now they are able to interact with the person, so interact with the bot, which knows who you are, which can service you and get to your answers and destination much faster. Everyone loves to save time. If Ido is coming to me to get a motor for his drone, I don't want him to spend 15 minutes in my website trying to figure out what motor it is. If I can solve this problem in 5 minutes or 2 minutes, he'll be my best customer for the rest of the life, because I know what to give to him to make his life easier and much quicker. So that is one of the great initiative that we have went through. It's just the beginning. You could see a LinkedIn post by my CIO. So he made a quick video of the Rexy today. So it's just the beginning, and we are going to expand much more capabilities into that. The second use case is more traditional AI. So going back to the basics, how do we increase the operational efficiency? How do we reduce the downtimes? How do we make sure we address the right sales associate? So out of all these things, we took the sales as a good use case. In order to find we have limited number of people for sales. We have a corpus of data from what are the good sales, good leads coming to us, who our sales associates should reach out to. If they are spending time on not the right leads, then it is a waste of time for both the people who are engaged and as well as for our sales associate. So doing this model algorithm to see which how to rank the leads so that our sales associates spend the right amount of time at the right place. was another efficient initiative that we were able to garner change in conversion for our sales associate by implementation of this AI method. For the 2025, we are in the budget season. We are almost having almost 30 plus AI, Gen AI initiatives in the queue, all fighting for the budget. So more to come next year, Monique.
Right. All right. So as you all can see, these stories are a testament to the transformative power of AI, offering practical blueprints and for success. And hopefully this was a beneficial, not only for me, learning the various types of stories and applicable ways of using AI, but hopefully for those of you who are watching us live. So now I know for those who are watching us live, especially those who've been asking us questions, we are now opening it up to you all. So we have a lot of questions to the three of you, Ido, Sabri, and Kevin. So this is what we're gonna do. We only have about 9 minutes left, and please let me know if there is a hard cutoff where you all have to jump off. I think the best way for us to do this is to do rapid fire. So for instance, if I ask a question, please answer it within like 1 or 2 sentences max, 1 minute or so, and then we move on to the next. And we're just gonna get through as many as we can because there's a lot of questions that we have here. If there's anything that's redundant, please just let us know and we will quickly skip on to the next one, all right? So let's tackle this. Are you guys good, Sabri, Kevin, and Ido, to tackle these questions?
Wait, we need to do some stretches first. Yes, we are.
Awesome. Okay, so very first question. What specific role does AI play in improving operational efficiency within the manufacturing environment? I think we kind of tackled that already in the main part. So
yes,
we're going to skip that. Okay, what are the primary challenges that manufacturers encounter when integrating AI technologies into their operations? Go ahead, Ido.
I'll take it. Change management. It's the ability for people to absorb and to be open to change.
All right. Sabri,
once again, one person's opinion.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, Sabri.
Can't agree more. The people is always at the center of everything that we are trying to do. So change management and getting the people buy-in is going to be always the one of the biggest problem you need to solve for, hurdle you need to solve for. Apart from that, my own experience that I'm looking into working with the actual plants, not just on the corporate headquarters sitting there and trying to develop the digital application. It is how the data is handled differently in a shop floor. So the data is very dispersed. So when we are sitting in the headquarters in front of the computer, we think all the data is available in Oracle or ERPs or Snowflakes or Enterprise. But that's not the case. When you're actually trying to implement the AI or Gen AI, whatever artificial intelligence technology, which is the data is the basic building block of it. Organizing, collecting, getting the data to a shape where you can implement is the biggest challenge, and not just the implementation. And going back to Ido's change management, how do you make sure that this new way of data is still maintained? Because it's still the people who needs to take care of the data in the right moment. So how to make sure that it is maintained all along is probably another set of challenge. But right now I'm in the phase of experiencing bringing this disparate data into one cohesive way that AI can utilize.
All right, thank you. And again, as a reminder, please just answer this in a 1 or 2 sentence, all right? So the next question, because this is rapid fire. How can manufacturers safeguard data privacy and security while integrating AI into their operations?
I can take that.
All right, Kevin?
So the first thing is having flexibility. Whether you buy an AI provider off the shelf or you build it your own, be able to have flexibility and picking different models, having the ability to use your own model versus a commercial model, but also have the flexibility to be able to apply guardrails and things or say this can't go to a commercial model or outside my walls. So having that flexibility to be able to maintain how and when you want that data to be used.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin. Next question, how can AI contribute to building more resilient and adaptive supply chains in manufacturing? All right, Sabri?
bring it into document intelligence. So make sure it comes into the one data and bring it into document intelligence. So the supply chain, and I'm talking about procurement, but if you're talking about the entire logistical operation, then think about the predictive AI. So you need a lot of data to do the understand the distances and the timelines. So bring in the predictive AI. And quick tidbit, Amazon has a video on it, how they solved it. So if you are able to look at it, so they are basically the king of the supply chain. So they know how they have a video out that how they solved it.
All right, thank you so much for that additional tidbit and for your answer, of course. Next question, how can manufacturing companies balance AI adoption with workforce retention and reskilling them to create a more harmonious workplace?
I'll take this one. I think even, starting to operate centralized in a centralized model, we always make sure that people understand that people will not be replaced by AI. They will be replaced by people who utilize AI much better. And I think that eventually it comes into place with many things, and people are curious. By nature, we always say that people do not want to change, but they actually do want to get better and better with what they do. Because once again, we're not changing the business. We're changing the way to do pretty much the same things, only much better. And everybody wants to be the best version of themselves. So I'm just saying, if you're using the right kind of terminology and making sure that you are stand up to what you're saying, and that means we are going to make each and every one of our employees the best version of him or herself, that's really comes to fruition. And once again, drones and the visual inspection did not replace the need for people. It just allowed the local people to focus on what they can do and the drones cannot do for them, as an example.
All right, thank you so much. So I'm skipping a few questions here because some of them either we've already tackled them or they're a bit redundant. So here's one. How is AI contributing to more sustainable manufacturing practices? And what role does it play in minimizing waste and energy consumption?
We can quickly take that. So I mean, it will still go back to the data, right? So if your blockchain isn't a technology that we didn't talk here, so that is heavily discussed in terms of the scope 3 approach in terms of sustainability and trying to trace back to the root of the product. So blockchain is heavily discussed, and if you're into that scope 3 clause, so trying to understand all the improvements, all the value add happen to the product, and you need to have that entire history of the supply chain, then yes, blockchain is something you can think about. But when it comes to the energy efficiency, it goes back to Ido's point of ITOD. You need to make sure all your equipment is emitting data, and you need to apply the model on the data and create a baseline model and put in an anomaly detection to see where the deviation is happening in order to make sure things are going the right efficient way. Yeah, okay. That's mine.
Awesome. No, thank you so much for answering. Next question. How would automating these processes with generative AI impact your product quality? That's a good question.
It's a good question, and I think that eventually it's not about. First of all, there are many tests and part of the QA process, and I'm talking now on the software side. Of course, it has relevant for manufacturing side because I had the ability to participate in some of those projects as well. Just think of how repetitive some of the work is, and think of how useful it would be to optimize it by automation and utilizing built-in models. I'm just saying that think of it as something that can be, once again, do the same type of work over and over again. It started with RPA in the beginning, and then came out to utilizing even more embedded anomaly detections within the processes. So once again, I don't see any other way of moving forward on that front.
All right. Now, I want to be respectful of our speakers' time. We're at the top of the hour. Can we go a little bit longer, or do we need to conclude where we are right now?
I have to, I'm sorry.
Okay, all right, no problem. So with that said, those of you who are here with us live and have been here this whole time, thank you so much. This concludes today's panel. I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you to our speakers here, Ido, Sabri, and Kevin, for their deep dives, and to our audience for their engagement. This event's recording will be available on the same LinkedIn Live event page for those who missed it or wish to revisit these discussions. In fact, Ido, Kevin, and Sabri, I would encourage you all, if you're able to go back into this event. If there's any questions that you see that you can directly respond to and reply to, we would greatly appreciate it. Today's discussion has highlighted the transformative potential of AI-powered solutions in the manufacturing industry, from enhancing efficiency and productivity to ensuring quality and compliance. And AI is paving the way for a more innovative and resilient future. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. We look forward to welcoming you to future events. Again, I'm Monique, and it's been a pleasure to be a host for today's event. Take care, and here's to your continued success in the digital AI era.